Something occurred to me earlier that I think Americans are more susceptible to, and I think preppers are very susceptible to, as far as a security risk, is this idea that you're the main character, that in all the world, you are the main character, and that nothing can happen to you, or that it just isn't going to happen to you, or I'm totally safe. And I was watching a video of Alex Stein, who's a conservative commentator that I think is freaking hilarious, because he is. But he's out in the middle of the No Kings protests, which are retarded, but let's just move on from that. And I'm watching him talking, and he's turning his back to all these people all around him. I don't think that it is a wise decision to wade into, especially in the political climate post the Charlie Kirk assassination, I don't think that it is backed by wisdom to wade into crowds of people. Now, Alex Stein's a commentator. It's his job. That's kind of how he makes content. I saw it because it's a piece of his content. And I'm sure he knows that there's risk to it. But I still think that bringing up the main character scenario, the main character bias that you would have, is something that you need to be aware of and make sure that it's not something that you suffer a delusion from just through thinking that it won't happen to you, or just thinking that your skills are better than they actually are, overestimating your own proficiency, whether it's gardening. You overestimate your own proficiency in gardening, or in a gunfight, or just even to handle a panic situation. You need to take stock of those things and realize that you might have a little bit of bias towards yourself, thinking that you are more ready than you are not. And I think ultimately that comes from like a lack of humility in a lot of cases, or just getting hopped up on some sort of hopium that you're some tactical elite guru. Starting with humility and realizing that it can happen to any one of us is a good starting place, and a place that will prevent you from making yourself an unnecessary victim, and an unwitting victim, not knowing that the problem was actually you putting yourself in situations, or not preparing yourself mentally, spiritually, physically for these situations. And we all have to work on that, all of us, from all of those different perspectives, all of those different categories. I'm not perfect in any of those, especially the physicality side of it, which I'm working on, but it is what it is. Something to put in the old noodle and think about as things continue to deteriorate in this country. Something else with this, I think, that is a huge liability, is if you have a savior complex, that you think that you can save everybody. You are not able to do that. And if you take on more than you can handle, whether it's people in your mag, people in your life that you make yourself responsible for, and even obligate yourself to through your own language, you are kind of screwing yourself. That doesn't mean that you don't try to help people. That doesn't mean that you don't listen to God when he tells you that this is something that you need to do. But a savior complex, whether you think that you are more proficient than you're not, or whatever, it can get you killed. Whether it's in a supermarket shootout situation where you're stopping some idiot like Randy Stair going through there shooting employees, and different situations like that. You need to have a realistic view of yourself and your own capabilities, and train with that in mind to mitigate those areas that could be a disaster, and to just overall engage in the world and in life with a degree of humility about yourself. Another one that I think that I'm susceptible to is just isolationism. And I don't think it's that I overestimate myself, but I'm still very much an isolationist. But a person could overestimate themselves and become isolationist, as if they're just an island unto themselves, when that is a recipe for disaster as well. If you think that you're going to be the lone survivor in a shit hit the fan scenario by yourself. You can't run 24-hour security. You can't do all the work to grow your own food, run 24-hour security, defend yourself. It's not realistic in a real prolonged shit hit the fan scenario. And so I would say that's another thing that you should come back to reality on if you're like that. I mean, because I really don't like talking to people I don't know anymore. as far as like in real life. Like I don't mind yakking with people on the internet, and I have about 8 real friends in real life that I could drive to their house right now, you know. But other than that, my sphere of people is really small, and I need to fix that. And that's my own damn fault. But I'm just saying that's another one of those things that can coincide with overconfidence. And so with that, I just wanted to bring that up as there's something kind of bouncing around in my head, and kind of wanting to get back into talking about some of the preparedness stuff. But I just kind of wanted to get out of talking about the news all the time or whatever. But there'll be some podcasts coming up. Me and my brother are going to start kind of doing a back and forth about some of these things and planning things out. So there'll be audio podcasts in that vein coming up where we're just having conversations. And you might struggle to tell the difference between me and my brother just because we kind of have the same cadence as we talk and sort of repeat ourselves and interrupt each other. I mean, two dudes talking over each other, that's going to be the podcast. But it is what it is, and we talk about some funny stuff. And, you know, my brother has some funny quips, and some people think I say some funny crap every once in a while. So I hope you all enjoy those. Those will be audio only for the most part, with maybe some sort of graphic or something. But I'm going to start doing a little bit more talks like this, and again, trying to get out and do some more bushcraft stuff, more knife testing. And if I get a certain job I'm kind of looking for, there might be a chance for a little bit more gun content and money to fund that, which would be cool. Training event type stuff, which would be cool if I could, you know, in the off time go and hit some training events. So that's all I had to say. Just wanted to touch on that, and don't overestimate yourself, and stay physically, spiritually, and mentally prepared as much as you possibly can, and work on the things where you know you're not. If you think you're good to go, you're probably not.